Hello, everyone. My name is Bill Flanagan. I'm the President, Vice Chancellor of the University of Alberta. Really pleased to participate in marking World AIDS Day. It's a really important moment for all of us to reflect on what we can do to end HIV here in Canada and around the world. And we can end it by ending stigma, by making sure that testing and treatment are available to all who need it, with paying particular attention to the most vulnerable among us and addressing the barriers that they might face in dealing with stigma and barriers to testing and treatment. So we can end AIDS. Let's make it happen. And let's make a commitment today on World AIDS Day to do all that we can to advance a future free of HIV and AIDS. HIV AIDS is not over in Canada, and it's not over in the world. This remains one of the great global health challenges. And it's also a big challenge right here at home. The most important thing we can do is to encourage everyone to be tested, particularly individuals who might be at higher risk. And there's many avenues for testing available in Canada. And one initiative that I've been very proud to be involved with is called the I'm Ready campaign. And this is a campaign whereby individuals can get a confidential self-test sent to their home or any location where they want to go pick it up. And what it means is that they can test themselves and completely confidential, completely anonymous, determine their HIV status, and then be linked to care, which is really important. It all begins with testing. And it also begins with making people feel comfortable about being tested and fighting back against the stigma associated with HIV in our society. And it's stigma is a reason why a lot of people are afraid to be tested, afraid to become better informed about HIV, afraid to reach out to organizations like HIV Edmonton. So we have to fight that stigma right here at home and right here around the world. And so it starts with fighting stigma. It starts with supporting and building community for people living with HIV so that they know that they have the support that they will need, that they're not alone, that there is a community of support for them. There's care available to reach out and not be deterred by the stigma that is associated with HIV in our society. So I think support, fighting stigma, making sure that access to testing is widely available, including I'm Ready, for those who want a completely anonymous self-testing option, and making sure that everyone who needs it is linked to care. Undetectable means untransmissible. That means if your viral load is undetectable, you can't transmit HIV to anyone else. And so you're not only protecting your own health, you're protecting the health of those around you and those you love. So this is why getting tested and seeking the treatment that you might need is such an important part for both advancing your own health, but protecting the health of those around you and those you love. Well, I think it's within our means to end the HIV epidemic here in Canada and indeed around the world. And it begins with a number of really important steps. First, we have to reduce and eliminate the stigma associated with HIV and the discrimination suffered by people living with HIV. It's this stigma that drives people away from care, away from resources, away from community, all of which they need in order to both test and seek the treatment that they may need. So we need to deal with the stigma. We need to make sure that testing and treatment is available to everyone, with a particular focus on marginalized communities and the most vulnerable in our communities. If we can successfully make testing and treatment available to all Canadians, we can stop HIV today. It would mean that there would be no further transmission of HIV, and that all people living with HIV would have the care that they need, and they could lead normal lifespans. So we have all of the knowledge and the technology and the treatment available today to end HIV, both here in Canada and around the world. What we need is the resolve to make it happen, the resolve to fight stigma, the resolve to remove barriers to testing and treatment, the resolve to make sure that the most vulnerable in our society, the barriers that they may face to accessing testing and treatment and dealing with stigma in their own communities, that we can eliminate those barriers. So the future is a very bright one. if we seize this opportunity to take all of the knowledge that we already have, all of the medications that we already have, all of the abilities that we already have, to work together to end HIV for all Canadians and indeed around the world.